In just 9 minutes, get the best moments from the 1.5-hour Club Shay Shay podcast with teddyswims and cocojones. Hosted by Shannon Sharpe on February 27th, 2025, this interview dives deep into music, fame, struggles, relationships, rejection, and Hollywood's beauty standards. Stay tuned, because every second is packed with insights, inspiration, and surprises. Here are the key takeaways from the podcast. Takeaway 1. teddyswims' journey to fame. teddyswims' music career did not start with big stages or major record deals. In the early days, he was performing in tiny bars and restaurants, playing cover songs for 3 hours straight for just $150, split between 3 band members. To make things worse, they didn't even get free drinks. Sometimes, after covering bar expenses, they left owing money instead of making any. But Teddy didn't let that discourage him. He saw every performance as a way to sharpen his skills and build his confidence. He used those years to study music, understand songwriting, and connect with audiences. His ability to mix different genres and pour raw emotion into his songs eventually set him apart. For example, he once performed in a small bar in Covington, Georgia, where only a handful of people were listening. Some of them told him, "One day you'll be famous, and we'll brag that you played here." Back then, he laughed it off. But now, as a Grammy-nominated artist with millions of fans, he knows those struggles shaped him into the musician he is today. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 2. cocojones' rise after setbacks. Cocojones was once seen as a rising star, but after losing a major Disney competition, her career stalled. For 8 years, she faced rejection after rejection. Casting directors overlooked her, labels ignored her, and she started to believe that maybe her dream wasn't meant to be. During this difficult time, she struggled financially, living off her savings while trying to figure out her next move. She feared being labeled a has-been before even turning 20. The turning point came when a viral tweet asked, "What happened to cocojones?" At first, she felt humiliated, but then she realized it was a chance to reclaim her narrative. She posted a video explaining her struggles, which unexpectedly went viral. That video led to a surge of new fans who supported her music and acting career. It reminded her that being real and honest about her journey was more powerful than trying to maintain a perfect image. For example, after sharing her story, she started gaining more opportunities, including a lead role in Bel Air and a successful music career. It proved that setbacks don't define you. How you respond to them does. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 3. teddyswims on relationships and therapy. teddyswims openly talked about the impact of therapy on his life, especially in his relationship. At first, he was resistant to the idea, but his partner, Raiche Wright, found a clever way to introduce it. Instead of telling him he needed therapy, she suggested couples therapy as a way to prepare for their child's arrival. Once they started therapy together, he saw how helpful it was. Over time, he realized he needed individual therapy as well. It helped him process childhood experiences, understand his emotions, and become a better partner and father. For example, he jokingly admitted that his girlfriend finessed him into therapy by making it sound like something they were doing together. But once he saw the benefits, he fully embraced it. Now, he encourages others, especially men, to break the stigma around seeking mental health support. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 4. cocojones on beauty standards in Hollywood. Cocojones has faced challenges in Hollywood not just because of talent, but because of her skin tone. As a dark-skinned black woman, she often saw roles go to lighter-skinned actresses, and she constantly had to prove her worth. She spoke about walking into audition rooms where there were 2 groups of girls, one that looked like her and another that was lighter-skinned. Even before auditions began, she could tell which group was more likely to get the role. Despite the industry's biases, she never let them define her. She learned how to stay confident, hold her head high, and remind herself that her value wasn't tied to Hollywood's outdated beauty standards. For example, she once auditioned for a role where she felt she had given an incredible performance. But when she saw who got the part, she knew it had nothing to do with talent. Instead of getting discouraged, she decided to create her own opportunities and prove that talent speaks louder than stereotypes. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 5. Teddyswims and his love for tattoos. Teddyswims has tattoos covering most of his body, including his eyelids. His love for tattoos started when he was a kid, spending his allowance on fake tattoo stickers from vending machines. His grandfather, a pastor, made him promise to never tattoo his face. But when his granddad passed away, Teddy got "Home at Last" tattooed on his face as a tribute. He admitted that part of the reason was also to piss him off one last time. For example, Teddy joked that when he eventually meets his granddad in heaven, he's pretty sure he's going to get an earful for breaking that promise. But he wouldn't have it any other way. We're halfway through the video. Thank you for sticking with us this far. If you're enjoying it, please give us a thumbs up and share it in your WhatsApp groups. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to comment below. To see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Now, let's continue with the video. Takeaway 6. Cocojones on financial struggles and career rebirth. At one point, Coco was completely out of work, living off her savings with no clear path forward. She had to make serious financial decisions, including moving into shared housing to save money. She considered giving up on music altogether, but deep down, she wasn't ready to walk away. When the audition for Bel Air came, she saw it as a long shot. She was convinced she wouldn't get the part, but she gave it her all anyway, and landed the role of Hillary Banks. For example, she had gone so long without work that when she got the call saying she got the role, she thought they had made a mistake. But that moment marked the beginning of her career's rebirth. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 7. Teddyswims on music and self-doubt. Teddy started his career singing covers, which gained him a lot of attention. But when he transitioned to writing his own music, he feared people would reject it. He often worried that people would say, just stick to singing Shania Twain, instead of appreciating his original work. However, he reminded himself that even legends like Stevie Wonder didn't grow up listening to Stevie Wonder. They had to find their own voice too. For example, once he stopped comparing himself to famous artists and focused on making music that felt authentic, he finally felt free. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 8. Cocojones on dating and relationships. Coco believes in balance in relationships. She likes the idea of a man taking the lead in certain aspects, so she doesn't always have to be the one making big decisions. She also opened up about learning tough lessons in love, including a past relationship where financial support came with emotional manipulation. After breaking free from that, she promised herself to never depend on anyone else's money again. For example, she said, "I would rather be broke than ever need somebody else to do something for me again." That experience taught her the importance of financial independence. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 9. Teddyswims on raising a biracial child. Teddyswims is preparing to raise a biracial child and is aware of the challenges that may come with it. His partner, who is also biracial, often felt like she was never black enough or never white enough. He knows their child may face similar struggles and wants to create a supportive and loving environment. For example, he joked about being their white daddy with seasoning, but behind the humor, he understands the importance of guiding his child through their unique identity journey. Now let's move to the last takeaway. Takeaway 10. Cocojones on handling rejection. Coco learned that rejection is a part of success. Instead of letting it break her, she used every setback as motivation to keep going. For example, her mom once told her, "You have nothing to lose, so just tell people what happened." That one decision to share her truth changed the course of her career. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like below and share this video in your WhatsApp groups. You can also discuss about this video by commenting below. To get more such videos in your timeline, press the subscribe button below.